Yeah.
Like, it's still a bit of a mage in this bot lane, but it's all about the playmaking. We've seen GAM be so successful in that as we do get back to draft. So I feel like maybe the J4 wasn't the pick.
Oh, thank goodness we don't have to fill anymore. Well, you know.
Lol
There's the Jarvan. Not a surprise in that sense. What we're going to do into it, Wukong has been relatively unsuccessful. The win rate MSI wasn't great. A lot of top teams have been a bit more leery about picking up. It scales well. Great at level 11. Great with one item, but the problem is you just come online a little too late for the way the game is played right now. But you lock in the RE as well, and now your playmaking is very strong if you do get rolling in the mid game.
Yeah, now with the Silas being hovered too, like there's a couple good ultimates that you can take away, so you have to be a lot smarter about how you draft moving forward. It can't just be about your ultimates anymore, it's about how you play the game as your champion. But one thing of note, Draktharr, oh no, okay, Lissandra is absolutely disgusting into an Ahri. The mobility is just instantly taken away if you try to get anywhere near them. I really love this pick because you can delay fights too with a Frozen Tomb.
So due to certain family relations, I get a fair amount of information about Ahri, and I know that the Lissandra matchup is playable, but you have to do it very, very different because basically you've got to be very afraid of the Ring of Frost.
Yep.
And again, your ability to lock down the mobility with the R is very, very annoying. Merc Treads goes a long way in this matchup, especially in mid lane, where you get those really awesome upgraded boots. The Chain Lace Crush is very, very strong. There's the Nico you were asking for, and
I'm glad.
MKOI, we wanted ease of execution, we wanted playmaking. What do you know? You put down the pot, you fill it with ice, and you get yourself a wonderful bowl of, what's the cold soup? I forgot which one. That's the one, thank you.
I love a good
I'm glad I got a co-caster, guys. That worked out very well.
But now as well, the Rakan's been picked up, so there is still the potential of a Xayah Rakan, but we have seen Rakan be picked up with quite a few other AD carries. Zeri's actually been one of note that we have seen a little bit of, but it's not been like one of these hard favorites. You can play with almost anything because it's all about the snap engage.
And you probably do ban Xayah here because, again, you're going for a very heavy dive gop, and Xayah would be slightly annoying, especially because it then works very well with Rakan, so that's probably going to be the ban. They're also just getting rid of some of those top lane annoyances against Myrwn because Vayne is still really, really annoying. You don't pick it necessarily early, but if it does come through to 4-5, you get that red 5 Luke Skywalker pick, red 5 standing by. That can be that proton torpedo to bring down the Death Star, so to speak. Yeah, we got the one Star Wars reference in. Thank goodness, that's my one ticked off for the day. On the other side, they're going to ban away the Caitlyn, the Misfortune. Misfortune, because of course, you get the shot glass combo, Jarvan puts it down, Misfortune fills it up, and of course, the Caitlyn's just really annoying right now.
Yeah, nah, definitely. We saw it in one of the series today, and it was pretty gross.
It was disgusting,
So, yep, let's just get it out of there. Totally fine with me. The Xayah ban did come through, so maybe we are reading their minds just a little bit. But now, it comes
We did say we're telepaths.
What AD carry would you put with the Rakan here? I think that's the big question. Like, Ziggs. Yep.
So Ziggs stays very safe. It also denies it from Supa, who again, Jarvan plus Ziggs, it's super easy because the bomb goes straight into that, and it's a very nice wombo combo and ease of execution. Also, Rakan gets to roam, and Ziggs is very safe in the 1v2.
But now you've got a lot of AP. What do you pick in your top side that's going to counteract a lot of that for the side of GAM?
Oh, there's the Kai'Sa. We saw Gala lock that in earlier and do really, really well with it. Chatting with some of the Chinese casters, the LPL casters here as well, and I think we came to the agreement that generally speaking, Kai'Sa's not in the best spot on this patch, but if you're a good player of it, sometimes that gets beyond the general meta. You can go towards something like a Renekton here, and now this mid-game team fight from MKOI is very, very strong. And you look at the other side for the side of GAM, and you go, okay, what does Kiaya have here? He's been given the counter pick. He's been given that opportunity to find something to break this draft.
And I'm not going to lie, I saw the Mundo ever so slightly. Maybe a Yone as well. I'd love a Yone.
These are fun hoppers.
I was actually thinking of Malphite. I was thinking that straight off the top. I'm like, you want to snap engage, followed up with a Rakan? Give me a Malphite. Full sense. You can out-tank this Renekton for a little bit. You get a couple items in, and you will just go hard in. But okay. Zahen picked up here now as well. Nice little bit of a bruiser, so it's going to be a bit of scrappiness in this top side, and I think that does favor Kiaya here.
It does, and GAM have got mobility on every champion.
Yep.
Keeping someone inside the Cataclysm is going to be very annoying. Satchel for Ziggs, Rakan's whole kit is mobility. That's what he does.
Yep.
He's not really a tank. He's not really an enchanter. What he is very, very mobile, and that's the win there. Ahri, the whole thing. Lissandra helps. Nico helps. You've got tools to keep people locked down, but it has to be a good combo. You can't do one alone.
Yes, it's all about catching them unaware and not letting them get away. That's the big thing. And if you can catch one, most of the time you can follow it up and catch another. It really is going to come down to these pot blossoms with this Nico.
Yeah.
Is Alvaro going to be able to land it on multiple members where you can follow it up with maybe a Cataclysm? Maybe you get a Frozen Tomb on one of those hyper carries that is there. Maybe you can lock down this Ziggs, lock down Gloryy on this Ahri, and you could be having an issue. But one thing I want to know, I want to take us back just a smidge in time in history. One of the star players, Eris, who was actually replaced by Gloryy, was a standout Ahri player, one of the best in LCP. So to see Gloryy now showing up at an international stage with that pick, I have big hopes.
Everything is earned, nothing is given is the tagline for Esports World Cup. Ever since its inception, saw the key on screen there, one of them is going to be in pieces by the end of today.
If it's GAMs, I will cry. If it's MKOIs, you know what,
there
I'll
are
cry.
so many cameras up here. You know what? It's going to be a beautiful gift, guys. I'm just saying, production, get on it.
There have literally been 2 references in this draft of me crying. Guys, I don't cry that much, but I don't want to verse you at Uno. That's the final point. All right, let's just not worry about it. But we're getting ready to jump in. Do not worry about the Uno games here, Initialize. Do not stress about it because we got a League of Legends game loading up as we speak, and it is game number 3 at EWC 26, and it's these 2 titans trying to get that redemption arc.
That it is. It's one apiece. Both games were winnable. For both teams, it has been a fractious, contentious affair, to pick up a few cool words. What I will note here for GAM is if the fight is extended, Zahen will get the passive and the reset. Ahri gets the reset. The mobility is very high. If you do not land your kill shot as MKOI, the extended fight gets really problematic.
Yeah, especially going Grasp on Zahen too. That's going to be just all about these longer trades and trying to get a little bit more damage off. Usually you would go for a Conqueror, you get that extra bit of healing, but I feel like Zahen, Kiaya wants to be in these fights and just tank it up a little bit more. So I do expect maybe a Sundered Sky into a little bit more tankiness,
Probably.
but we'll have to see.
Yeah, can maybe do things like, I want to say the Trinity Force spell. I'm trying to remember Zahen build off the top of my head. We'll see where it goes on that front. Of course, we can look that up, so not a worries there. Worth noting as well for the mid lane matchup, a little bit of tech there. Both of them have gone resolved secondary because they want the bone plating. Ahri tries that to get away with it versus the Lissandra, but again, if Lissandra then matches, the trades get evened out one more time, so that will be a whole thing. Expect very early Merc treads from the Ahri, and you can roll from there. Of course, on the other side, you've got Ziggs, who's going to try and just basically wave clear as much as you can. You are into double range, and normally that's really obnoxious. But because Ziggs just has so much inherent wave clear, it's one of the powers of mage bots in general, especially with the fact that supports aren't locked to lane right now. They can go roaming. Does mean that potentially that theoretical win con of the Kai'Sa Neeko shove won't be quite as reliable as it would be in other scenarios. And honestly, we've not seen that much Kai'Sa over the last little while either. It's kind of there as a comfort pick for Supa.
Ooh, and I love that. Jojo being very aggressive moving forward, but charms are going to go wide, so Gloryy just needs to land a couple of those. When you get Alessandra jumping on top of you, you need to hit these abilities so you can actually get a little bit of that trade back, but a lot of mana being used. Alessandra is one of those very mana-heavy champions in the early game, so you've got to see if Glory's going to be able to space it out a little bit more and have a little bit more of that control, but I'm looking at this bot wave. Artemis is just getting chunked in and chunked out.
And before Lissandra got the incredibly cool name for her passive of Iceborne Subjugation, she used to just have like a passive was like, yeah, get some mana back every like 3 spells or whatever. Because she was so mana hungry, and we've really changed the game over the years. It's worth thinking about, because of course League Classic is now coming back. And once upon a time, mana issues were a thing. You had to run mana pots. You had to be very careful about your spell usage. And that's kind of been something that's largely been removed from the game, at least to an extent, because frankly, the decision's been made that casting spells is fun. But it does mean that you don't have to be quite so worried about what spells you cast. As Elyoya training up with Draktharr here. Conqueror's stacked in general.
See if this can be enough as the flash Draktharr maybe going for another run in the wrong direction, and this could just be first blood going over to J4. Elyoya's pretty happy with that trade.
Alvaro was on the roam, was there first, had the heal. Jojo got to Glacial Claw over, and what do you know? It kind of goes wrong.
A little bit of a disaster, but you know what? You can come back from it. It's only first blood. It's not the end of the game. But still, it's a bit of gold going into the side of the jungle, so it means it's going to give a little bit of alleviation for Elyoya to go into these lanes and actually have some impact a little bit earlier on.
And considering how critical jungle is in the current meta, often is, to be frank, but because of how very, very heavily
Black.
replayed for it right now. It gets very, very strong. Indeed, you see this play here. Draktharr goes to make Elyoya suffer, but the thing is, he's in what turns out to be a 1v3, flashes away from the Lissandra roam, but doesn't respect that Alvaro is there. I think at that point, just hold on to the flash.
Yeah, it's just like, you know you're dead. Maybe you just live to fight another day. I guess if you are playing the Wukong, you do have the escape where you can just dash out, leave your clone, but at this point, it was just a little bit too early, and now Artemis, no mana, doesn't have a satchel. Oh, the flash from the minion. It's just too much, and Supa picking up their first kill.
Very nicely done. Alvaro tried to get the flash predict, doesn't get it, but as a result, Artemis spends a long time not flashing, and as a result, eats a lot more damage, and a well-aimed Void Seeker from the Kai'Sa brings down the Ziggs. The problem is that's now 2-0 to MKOI, and that is a significant gold lead to MKOI, and GAM have actually had good early games across both prior games, and are going to have to play from the deficit, which is a lot less fun for them.
Yeah, not ideal, but you know what? GAM has been able to come back from a lot of these games too and can restore that too. We have seen a lot of flippity-floppity games today as well. I love saying that today. It's sort of like my go-to a little bit.
It's making me smile.
Yeah, look, the audience out here is loving it. They keep looking at me going, come on, Pike. But still, doesn't matter. Now, Glory's getting a bit of a shove here as no TP is available for Jojo. So what we'll have to see is Elyoya is going to be walking up, and a cannon's pretty important here. Maybe looking to get some of those tower plates, but no, going to be denied. And this is just good jungle pressure coming into the mid.
And something we're going to have to keep our eyes on as well is just as there's 3 teleports from GAM, plus a potential on the other side, plus the global of the Ziggs, then you've got double teleports plus all of that mobility in the Nico trying to drop off vision. Any fight that happens is realistically going to have everyone collapse in the blink of an eye.
Yep, that is absolutely true. And now we're going to look at that nice little kill down on this bot side. That Void Seeker, like you said,
headshot.
hits its mark, and boom. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Now, first dragon already secured here. Cloud heading over to MKOI.
Yeah, and what we've seen across this series so far, right, has been that, generally speaking, GAM have traded gold for early objectives. Problem is they're now trading both objectives and gold towards MKOI, which is like kind of losing on both of those matches. Yeah. Not what you want to see. Again, I would argue, I think MKOI with the Jarvan, with the Renekton, probably spiking a little earlier than the Wukong and the Zahen on the other side, that just need a little bit more time to come online. But it's still not exactly what you want to see. You'd rather see GAM finding some ways to cross-mob or get some value elsewhere.
Yeah, and I can already see that what's going through the minds of GAM here, and they're probably just saying to each other, guys, what are we doing? Slow down, take a deep breath. Even if it's 5, but now there's a fight in this mid lane. Gloryy getting caught out, Spirit confused. But okay, Alvaro's just gone, trying to get that entrance, but it's not going to be enough. The Frozen Tomb is good. Gloryy has to flash, Killer Instinct forward. It's going to be enough for Supa, able to pick up the kill. Flag and drag Cataclysm as well. It's just all too much. It's MKOI looking for GAM, and they have found their mark.
There's the frozen thrall of the Rakan, and MKOI come into this game and make statement after statement. It's 5-1. The gold lead explodes. We asked them to lower the floor to execution. They lower it into a 6-foot hole. GAM are in the dirt.
Oh, look, and it looked so good from the start. You can see there was proactivity. GAM went forward. It was just a great collapse from the rest of the side of MKOI. They were able to get in there. Supa with that Killer Instinct. The Cataclysm just locked them all in, and there was nowhere you could go.
Pike, do you remember me saying, hey, when a fight starts, everyone's going to turn up in the blink of an eye?
Yeah.
That happened, but MKOI just had more members. Taki, I thought, because he turned up with the Rakan, might be able to with that flash, the battle dance in, managed to turn something around. Sure, you've got 1 kill back at this point. Yeah, that's good for Gloryy to pick up there onto the side of Alvaro, but the problem is you gave up another 3, and it's gone to Jojo. It's gone to Supa, who's on a Kai'Sa that's theoretically the scaling pick. You're supposed to give up some advantage in the early game to spike at the 2 items, to spike in the mid game. That spike's happening real fast.
It's a big spike. Usually it's one of those ones you find in a cave, like a stalagmite.
That's the one.
They're pretty big after a couple 100 years. Sadly, it's only been 8 minutes.
I thought you were going to go more the dungeon route, like the spike traps and stuff, but that works too. You know,
look, we're getting a little bit of geometry in there.
That's true.
Fountains.
Geology. There you go. All there.
That's the one.
There you go.
I said geometry.
I was thinking like maths.
Well, technically, a spike is technically an isosceles triangle.
I guess. But nice recovery. Well done.
We get there. But now, game's just slowed down a little bit more. 2 minutes on at the Dragon, but also Void Grubs are up.
They are. We'll see whether we get the contest, because I do wonder whether GAM... You've got 2 options. You flip this and try and come back into it by winning the fight. You lose this and it's lights out. Yeah. So the safer option is play away from the Grubs and get like a turret or some plates elsewhere. Are GAM that team?
Well, Is GAM any sort of team? They're the team is maybe an answer to that, but I think they might just be smart enough to give this one over. They know that Alvaro is going to be rotating around like this. Nico's ever present in all these team fights. They see that they're on it, and you know what? They've made the right call. Concede it, live to fight another day.
Yeah, and again, you do have good scaling. Zig's going to scale very well. It's going to be quite hard to get on top of because he sits so far back. You're going to have, a flash on it, and Supa's got in there and annihilated Gloryy.
Instant bloody death right there. Just everyone was on top of you in a flash, and there's nothing you can do. A frozen tomb, and then there's a Kai'Sa and a Nico there as well. Disastrous.
That's going to be so problematic. Again, both teams have got a lot of panic buttons to come and respond. The problem is MKOI just feel sharper in this game. Panic stations, I think, for GAM at this point. This is a big lead to have given up.
Yeah, only at 9.5 minutes, 3.3k gold. It's nothing to just turn your nose at. GAM needs to be a little bit smarter about how they approach these fights.
Yeah.
Maybe getting some smarter deep vision and trying to track out where this Nico is going. Maybe play towards topside, get Kiaya a strong lead so they can be more impactful in team fights.
The Dark Seal stacks are coming on forwards. It's a bit of a chunk here as Kiaya and Myrwn just trading out. Passive's nearly there from Kiaya. Are we going to go any deeper? The Jarvan's around. This gets a bit spicy. The problem is you're still going to watch out for the passive on Kiaya. The thing is, if you time it out, suddenly you have more options. The Ahri's roaming up. They've got to have an idea with the missing pings that the Jarvan's around. And I think Kiaya is wise to the potential Jarvan positioning.
Yeah, and you can already see Alvaro's just out there trying to act like a J4, but they are very well aware. And also, look at Taki out there. They're ready to come in at a notice. But now, there's the flag of Cataclysm.
Easy.
He's just gone.
Look, Taki was on the road. We saw him going up that lane. We saw the Ahri move up to the first moment and then had to go back towards that mid lane, but the timing wasn't quite there. Whereas in mid lane, the Kai'Sa was there immediately. In this case, the Rakan was still 20 seconds away when that play was happening, and it all goes wrong, and now that time from Taki is wasted. Went all the way top to find very limited value. TPs come flying, and at this point, you're giving up the Grugs. You've got Dragon that's up, and already the TPs have come flying from MKOI. This should just be free for him.
Yeah, look, and that's just a really nice spot to be in. You've got every single objective on the board so far. 4 minutes till a Rift Herald, but right now, Dragons are good. It really is GAM that really needs to start stepping up a little bit more, maybe having to figure out a different way to approach this game, because right now their approach is not working.
Not really, is it? 3,500 gold to MKOI. They'll pick up a Dragon as well, see what the soul roll is this time. Will not be Chem or Cloud Dragons, so potentially a high roll here, depending. The Hex Gates. Yeah, well, that'll do as a soul. Hex Soul, pretty much universally considered the strongest in the game for good reason. Draktharr is top. Maybe GAM can make the plays. They TP in. Yeah,
I said they needed to flip a switch, and that switch is just send everything we have towards topside. It is going to be Artemis looking to come up here. If they can get these plates down, they might be able to get a satchel off and just take the tier 1. We'll have to see as there is the swiftness. It's going to be enough. Glory's trying to do a little bit more. Charm is good. Now they have just caught out one. Alvaro's gone. Going over to Artemis. That's the right play to put it on.
You do get the one kill. They can turn this into a turret, I suspect, but the problem is Jarvan, Lissandra, and mid. Supa's been shoved away at that bot lane. This is likely going to be a 2-for-1 turret trade, and I think first turret still to MKOI here because it's just not enough damage, especially with the lack of grubs, and despite having the Ziggs, well, it's not going to quite happen. Myrwn is still going to get jumped on, though. Maybe get a little bit more.
Has to be careful as they're just taking a lot of heat, but it's enough damage, and Kiaya picks up their kill.
Nice.
It's a nice little flip. Maybe they just said, we're just going to keep full sending it.
Well, they are, and they do finally get a couple more kills on the board, and that means the gold doesn't really expand. The problem is the map ain't that great. There is a couple more people just looking to see whether they can find a way up there, but they don't get what they are after, and the resets will come on through from GAM.
I think maybe it was just a fear that they might just keep pushing, like they keep just picking off one at a time. Like there is that fear if you do lose, you got to send more members just to cover that base a little bit more. But smart play, they backed off. Great call from GAM. They got their picks. They got the tower. Yeah, they lost mid. They probably lost a lot of chunks on this bot side too. It's okay. It's not the end of the world. They got a little win in there. So the gold is still pretty strong though. 3.4k over to MKOI. We'll have to see if GAM can start getting some of these objectives though.
Yeah, and again, look, GAM make a proactive move. It's successful. That's good news. The problem is, unlike when MKOI been making the proactive moves, there was a cross map. There was a mid lane turret that went down. There was a bot lane turret that went down. Supa got solo time pop. He's now 1,400 gold up. He is very, very scary at 4-0-1 and all that additional gold that he just picked up. I don't think MKOI are going to be that upset about giving up a kill or two there, even if, of course, they'd rather have not done so.
And I guess the big question I would ask you here, Nicholas, is would you rather have a top tier 1 or a mid tier 1?
Well, mid tier 1 nearly every time, right?
Yep.
And that's the way of it, right? Because it sets up for both objectives. Playing through mid to enter into River has always been a huge part of the pro level of League of Legends.
I think I just read your mind about that because I would have done the exact same thing. But still, we'll have to see if they can start making those moves again. They still have the Zig, so the ability to take these towers is still online. It's now, do they give them the spaces? Okay, flashes go forward. Taki able to survive, so a flash being burnt is pretty good off Jojo.
Yeah, wanted to try and get in range for a W or an R, just out of range to end up burning that summoner kind of for free. Worth noting, actually, the MKOI didn't get that bot tier 1 initially with Supa when I thought they did. Just picked it up now, so there we go. I am immediately corrected by on-screen information, and they will manage to pick up that second turret for themselves.
Look, I think it was just a setup to take it.
Oh, there you go.
Got such a big push. You were
You're
right.
too kind.
They
Thank you,
set
thank you.
up for it. Yeah, I got you. We're all over.
I can see the future, guys. That's what that is.
Well, there you go. That's another superpower that we keep discovering here on the desk, that we are finding out that we are actually superhuman.
It's true.
Apparently.
It's true.
But now, game's starting to slow down a little bit more. Dragon up in 1.5, but Rift Herald coming up in 10.
Yeah, I think you can play for Herald and try and get everything, and I feel like MKOI really, the choice is there. They're the ones in the driver's seat. They're the ones with the priority. They're the ones in the ascendancy. The call on what objective they want is theirs. Soul Point is probably the major win condition, but if you can do both, then do both. We'll see whether they can make that happen, though.
Yeah, I guess if you do give the Rift Herald and you do prioritize that Dragon, it is a chance to maybe take a tower or two still. And that's maybe not what you want for MKOIs. Like, they don't want to give these towers over unnecessarily. So I think the smart call is here, send everyone, and then just flex them straight back down to the Drag when it spawns. It's still got a minute on it. Rift Herald's just gone.
Draktharr is here. We'll see whether they can fight the blade. Here comes the teleport. In they go. Immediate frozen tomb. The pop boss of theirs. Supa's untouched. They do bring down the Lissandra, making things a bit spicy. Gloryy gets a reset. They keep looking for more. Maybe this is GAM's moment. It's time again. GAM, come on in and make this game an actually competitive one. Gloryy still got the reset. Picks up the more. Alvaro down and poor old Myrwn gets hit by the charm. Ari ain't done.
And now it's just the chasing of the crocodile. They can live in a river, but you know what? Sometimes they go to lands, and in a jungle, they cannot run too far. There's no zigzagging here, as it is GAM looking for that final kill. The Dominus is popped, but GAM coming to life around the Rift Herald. They lost the objective, but they won the fight.
The problem is it takes a while, and that means a Dragon is spawning, TP's rolling, and MKOI this early in the game should have the reset timers and should still pick up Soul.
Yeah, and seeing the reset here as well. Now that it is Artemis looking to go back, they've got no mana. This is the big thing, right? You have to be smart, you have to get there, but that's why they have all the TPs.
That they do. They get to come back in. Dragon is going to be started. And for all that was a really good moment from GAM, it brings them back in touching distance of the gold. They don't get to convert that huge fight into the Dragon as well. And so MKOI still find themselves with their win condition online. 3 dragons to the good, Soul in 5 minutes, and it's an early one.
Look, but we've seen this before. Every single game so far, they've gotten to Soul Point. They either get the Soul or they lose the game. That's how you spell. But the replay was so good. Flashes were coming out. It was Gloryy just being so proactive with those Spirit Rushes, moving forward and getting the resets. You can see they already used 3, and then they got another 2 off the back. Just caught out. I feel like the chase might not have been the way to go. If they left this Renekton to their own, I guess, demise, you might even say, they could have just reset, been at the Dragon a little bit earlier.
Yeah, and it's great on-screen stuff. But on the way out, Myrwn clears the way. They don't get mid-turret. They try to get to the Renekton, who has the dominance and slice and dice. Gets out. They don't get the Dragon. They don't get the mid-tier 1. The goal back is great. And again, you've got the Zahen who's going the Trinity Force route. Will hit a point where, again, you are very scary as you scale into the game. The Wukong's at level 11, has got the Trinity Force. These are all good things. It gets you into a position where you are competitive. The problem is, your margin for error is so much lower because you are against that Soul Point, because you are down so many turrets. When it goes wrong now, it's going to cost you so much more.
But now items are starting to come online. This is where it starts to get really interesting. Shadow Flame has been picked up for Ziggs. That's a big spike. But at the other side of that, we see Supa, Kraken, Ginsu's almost heading towards that beautiful Nash's Tooth where you evolve into the glorious Kai'Sa. It is almost the next level of evolution, you might even say.
Ain't picked up, but close enough.
Close enough. Look, we won't get into the lore too much, but Pysa from Arcane, but still, tower down in the spot side. That's maybe the next series. But now they're looking at this tower mid. Tower top's already been secured now. It's already picked up by Jojo, so they can just reset. Gold is starting to just shift a little bit more as it's only a 1k lead.
Look, the game looked done.
It did.
It was a lot of gold to MKOI, a lot of dragon stacking to MKOI. The gold is much more reasonable now, and that is a very interesting gold graph, a heart attack, you might say.
It's not often you see a line go directly up in like a line graph. That
is alarmingly vertical.
I'd be investing in that stock straight away. But still, it's going to be a big one. And we got to see, I really want to start seeing Kiaya getting back into these fights a little bit more. We saw them teetering in that last one. I want to see them get these hard resets and be a bit more of a menace. The Triforce is complete, but now they're going that tankier route. They've got the Bramble.
Couple key things to know. Taki has the Mikhails. The ult from the Lissandra are going to be a lot less valuable. You've got a lot of CC to get through, so the Mikhails can only save you once. But it's still important. You've got 2 items on Artemis, who's now got Luden's Shadow Flame somewhere out there. Orcs is nodding in approval. You will pop people, because it's not a particularly tanky squad from MKOI. Of course, Supa is still very strong, has gotten well ahead of curve. Ain't a done deal yet. Myrwn has gone for this very heavy dueling build, and that could be important as we are edging closer and closer to that soul fight. Still a couple minutes away, but the setups, the potential burning of things like flashes becomes quite important over the next 50 seconds or so.
Oh, straight in. Pop Blossom's not going to land. The Cyclone dies. Let's see if there's going to be enough damage.
Oh my god, they got him!
Absolutely blasted. And Artemis picks up the kill on Jojo. They're saying, let's take your red buff now as well.
I mean, Baron's up. I don't think they're going to quite have that. But again, you take what you can get there. Jojo doesn't burn the flash. Yes, the gold is back to even. That's nice for GAM. But Jojo doesn't panic. He holds onto the flash. He will need that in a minute's time.
Yeah, that's right. With Baron also up and available.
I was worried.
It's all about this dragon. This is where MKOI want to make this move. They will all be there. They have been saving these flashes the entire time. TPs are going to be up and readily available, at least for some. It's only one. It's only on Gloryy, so it makes sense they'd probably send them to a side lane. Now they're starting to use the tunnels. They're looking. Elyoya has been found. Let's see if they can get the damage. The flag and drag's good. Stun's coming in.
Grim Deliverance.
Going in. The Grim Deliverance is good, but it's not really onto anyone. As the Frozen Tomb comes in, it's a lot of damage.
Self-ult.
Jojo. So they're just trying to stay alive, and now they're just retreating. They got some ultimates out.
They reset, but the thing is they need to get back here fairly sharp. As you've got Hex Gates, your ability to reset and get back on the map is high. However, for MKOI, sure, you won the fight in terms of you forced them out the river. You don't really get the kills. You only get position in the river. This needs to work because GAM still have got a fairly heavy way to re-enter the river. No flash on Kiaya, no flash on Gloryy. That could be key.
Yeah, look, 20 seconds still, and now it is going to be GAM looking down this mid side. It is going to be one good push, will secure this tower, but we'll have to see if they're able to lock it down. Again, they're now looking to get that security and do a little bit more. They've opened up the map. It's going to be a little bit easier for them, but it's all about who gets the tick, who starts the fight. Does Draktharr get in with a Cyclone? Still, Frozen Tomb is not up yet. It's got 3 seconds. It is a big cooldown. We'll have to see if they can do a little bit more. Clones are coming in. Dragon's being pulled out. Elyoya's trying to do a little bit with it. We'll have to see whether they're going to just pull that trigger. Kiaya trying to pull a little bit more. They're getting that vision, but they're just teetering. They're playing with their food. Who's going to pull that trigger?
Kiaya into the pit. Jojo on the flank. The tension rises, and we look at GAM sitting around this dragon. MKOI and Alvaro! The flash! The pop blossom! The absolute carnage in the river! GAM win out! Dragon fight! A potentially game! Pike's losing his mind! I'm losing his mind! And MKOI are losing their lives!
It's GAM time, baby! Let's go! That was a huge team fight out of GAM! They got the lockdowns, they got the plays, and they were able to get their kills. Only 2 members left standing. 3, I apologize, Gloryy in that, but that Mega Inferno Bomb did so much. But wow, it was a huge play. Let's break it out because it was awesome.
It really was, and GAM are in the river first. We said we need to see how Alvaro does, and it looks like an okay Pop Blossom, but they don't convert it into the kills, and the turnaround damage is monstrous, because look at Artemis. He finally gets jumped on, but it's too little. It's too late. Supa goes for the kills and doesn't get it. Supa's played a great game, but that failed pick got rough. GAM with the gold lead. GAM around this topside river. And with Soul denied, MKOI, oh no, not again. It's feeling like game 2.
It's feeling like game 2, and that's the game I've been enjoying. But still, MKOI, they have had this lead the entire time, and it's just being flipped on its head. And you got to give big props. Glory's moving around the map so well. The big thing of note in that last fight is we actually saw Elyoya Cataclysm backwards, and it didn't catch the rest of the team. It was too localized onto one, and then they just dashed out, and it was like, oh, it's just been wasted.
Remember what we said about the mobility. Yes, you've got CC, but if you don't confirm the kill, the extended fight is hard. What do you know? It was hard. We had 23 kills in 23 minutes. It has been a bloodbath of a game. I could ask for nothing more from these teams. The problem is now MKOI, that jungle is dark and full of Aries. Very scary to go face checking in. As it stands, Baron a possibility. Still MKOI, they're not done yet. They can still play this out. They're still at Soul Point. Supa is strong. 3 items to the good on the Kai'Sa.
Yeah, that's exactly it. I was going to say, it's this Kai'Sa that is still scaling. They've picked up the Nash's Tooth. Maybe looking towards a Seeker's Arm gun where they get that golden ability and survive the fight. That's going to change a lot of this, because that last fight was the absolute explosion of taking someone out. If you can slow that down and just pull that fight a little bit longer, the chance to survive and win it is going to be so big. But now, Kai'Sa's unlocked. It is Supa that can be able to do this damage. I would love to see Jojo really focus on where that Frozen Tomb goes. I think it needs to be aggressive onto GAM instead of safety and on themselves.
Eyes on the inventories here. We just saw that Nash's Tooth highlighted, and wisely so. However, I'm also looking at Arm Guard for Gloryy, Zhonya's for Artemis. Of course, Kiaya with his own passive. You're going to have to kill people multiple times. Draktharr! That's a bit deep.
It's going straight back in. Cyclone is good, but we're trying to get a little bit of that follow-up. Myrwn is going to be looked at, but Gloryy had to use the Spirit Ash over, so they're getting a little bit more out. Kiaya actually TP'd right into the thick of it, and now they have to just back away.
Not the end of the world. Still some Summoner's Blow. A little bit scary there, but at the end, it's really only the teleport that ends up being the cost. Jojo also TP'd, so even enough on that one as the Pot Blossom, or rather the Blooming Burst, doesn't find the interrupt.
Yeah, no, but now it is going to be MKOI looking around this Baron. They're trying to get that vision secured. We'll have to see if they're going to be able to get a little bit more towards it, but it's still also Dragon within a minute and a half.
Yeah. I hope your vocal cords are ready.
Nope.
Because this one is going to be another one of those absolute cataclysmic fights, and no pun on the Javan being in the game. We are going to take a breath in some ways, because it is the calm before the storm. And look at that horizon. It is brewing around this Hex Dragon spawn. You win this, Baron comes after, potentially Soul for MKOI on top of it all. That would likely be lights out.
Look, it's still only a 1.5k gold lead for GAM right now. It is any team's game. The scaling is there. To initialize, it really tells the tale who's going to be more clutch.
Ziggs getting that cool recall off. We'll be looking to get back in, see whether he converts this into something more. He's got the Oblivion Orb to help with some of the anti-heal. Adrenaline is good news. I'm also looking, of course, at Kiaya, who's managed to find himself 1,300 gold in the advantage. And again, Zahhen at level 16 is such a raid boss. He's going to be very, very challenging to bring down, because everyone is going to be in the meat grinder where Zahhen excels. That passive gets value, and you don't just get to kite him out so easily.
No, and it's just the survivability too. The Sundered Skies completed, so sort of said, I'll get the Bramble just for that anti-heal, but now I'm just going to go survivability and just keep fighting. We'll have to see as the Dragon now spawning. MKOI already at the starting line to pick it up.
Dragon started. MKOI in the river. Myrwn looking to be on that flank, looking at Kiaya, but what about that?
And now Taki's looking to come back in. It is at 4k health. Mega Inferno Bomb does go down. Kiaya's going over the wall. They're now in the pit. It's a meat grinder in there as well. It comes down to who's going to be able to lock it down as well. But now, looking at Elyoya, trying to stay relevant.
Myrwn's back in the passive.
Here, sends it back with the sack. Good. Pop Blossom,
Artemis!
golden. It's been picked up by MKOI. They get the soul. Now is the damage going to be enough? Myrwn is just a tank.
Yeah!
But look at GAM. They're going golden. They're going big.
No way!
Gloryy with the double. Artemis picking up another.
Gloryy?
And it is GAM moving forward. Fierce, determined, ready to win. And Myrwn is just trying to hold this line. We've seen this chase before, but GAM wants this win so badly. The flash goes forward. The ace for GAM.
They They need to go through mid before the respawns come in. The Hexo will be very difficult. They smell blood. They smell victory. They smell MKOI's crush key.
And this is exactly what GAM can do. LCP is here to close out the first series here at EWC. Ziggs throwing out the bombs. It's all Alvaro. If they can do it, it's all she wrote. Hit the Nexus. Hit the Nexus. Gloryy
Do not hit the Nexus.
Oh no, it's close. It's so close. They've done it.
Ah, nice.
Came through. They held the line.
Oh, it's heartbreak. It is absolute carnage. And GAM, they get the Nexus turret. They get 2/3 of the Nexus, but not the final hit. The 50 gold remains unclaimed. So close and yet so far. The fingertips slip from the precipice.
Oh my lord, and now the Baron being picked up by MKOI. A series and a half we have here initialized. A massive
Well, that was
play.
close.
GAM moving into the history books there if they could, but no. And with a Baron secured, oh my lord, the gold is dead even.
League of Legends is often a game of fine margins of inches. And now MKOI survived the death push from GAM. They get Hexo, they get Baron, and the Nexus doesn't fall. Production was baited. We were baited. But MKOI hold the line.
Alvaro actually smurfing this fight, I'm not gonna lie. It was a 1v4 and it was Towers just doing the damage and they just got it just in time. That was 2 hits away. But still, we'll have to see if they can close this one out. MKOI trying to hold it back. Even with the Baron, they've got to worry about these supers.
Production, if you get the chance, I would love to know what HP that Nexus went down to. 2-3 hits maximum. But now, GAM, for all of the heroics, for all of the potential we saw in that moment, the Nexus stands and they face down Baron, they face down Hexol, and they face down a monumental task in finishing this game. Zhonya's for Supa, Zhonya's for Jojo, GA for Yoya. GAM, oh GAM, the team fights have been good. You see the potential, but it's all well and good having the potential. You've got to actualize it in one way. You've got to realize it one way. 2.5 minutes on Elder, 4.5 on Baron. One more team fight to decide the game.
And it really is any team's game right here. They both have the potential. They both have the items to back it up. Elyoya, you have to kill him twice now. That's going to be hard to do. But still, we're not going to curse it. We'll have to see what the next move is as Dragon is up in 2.5 minutes, Baron in 4. We need to see MKOI start to take some of these towers away if they want to get this lead of gold back.
Production just got back to me. 1,093 HP between GAM and an incredible upset, I guess is the way we put it. MKOI perhaps coming in as the favorites from LEC for obvious reasons, with the fact that they squeaked in over GX just about, but with how things have been going.
Are they trying to backdoor?
They might be. Hang on, watch Draktharr.
Like, Draktharr could...
No way.
No, don't.
Too much.
Oh, my heart. It can't handle this kind of pressure, Initialize. So they're looking to charge down this bot side. Tier 2 bot. MKOI is going to be able to lock this down. They have the damage. The plates are good, but you're going to be able to lock this through. Let's see if they can make something work.
Is that a gold graph or a heart monitor? I couldn't tell the difference. Death cap for Artemis. Eyes on that one as well.
Looking for it. Oh, it's just going to be charged.
They got him.
Draktharr, they pick up the Crocodile. They're taking the top tier 2. Are they looking for a base race? They could just be looking to clear this one out. It is Kiaya. They have to clear.
Base
See
race.
if they can do enough with it. But no, their resets have come through. Supa is back.
The GAM fans are here in force. You can hear the pounding of the drums in the background. It's resonating through here in Paris. MKOI, you've got the Hexo, you've got the Baron. Surely you have what it takes to end this one, you'd think, in any reasonable world. But this is the Esports World Cup, and reasonable has very little to do with it. A minute on Elder.
A minute on Elder. That's the fight. That is where it all comes down to. And I am expecting it to be so full of fire. We'll have to pull out the goods, but still, the gold lead is still dead even. It's 33 minutes into the game. It's been so backwards and forwards. Even if I can see that gold graph again, it's going to have another steep decline once more. But Alvaro is here, playing the role of the jungler. I'll have to see if he can make a play.
flashes will largely be up for everyone except Artemis. Supa, 4.5 items. He doesn't quite have the Void Staff, but it is damn close. There'll be elixirs popped, make no mistakes about it. Alvaro in the form of a minion, eyes on. But it will be Artemis, it will be Supa that I keep my eyes on.
Yeah, you've got to be so careful. Supa can be able to get to the other side with the killing instinct. There's
Alvaro!
the bomb, flash, but the golden stop is
Look at Yoya!
good, but it's all
They've got him in the bench!
They're doing even more! Kiaya is just so big! Artemis is cleaning up the fight! Supa is trying to do the best!
Kiaya!
Able to lock this down! 4 members strong! It's GAM time, baby! Let's go!
And that is
The first time it was a fluke. The second it's just raw class. From Vietnam they come and the time strikes again. MKOI's time is over. GAM's time is now.
And
they survive.
And that's exactly what we expect. The LCP, we play for blood and we play for glory
GG.
here at EWC.
Drama, blood, chaos, and GAM do it. The drums thunder for victory. They've done it.
Absolute cinema here on B Stream. We don't even need to look at A Stream today because that was an absolute banger of a series. And it was GAM that took it all the way with a reverse sweep.
You just can't ask for better, can you?
Now,
It is